WRDMTCN. You're tuned live into the Daily Smoke. This is Taboo Tuesdays. We want to get into it with our sponsors first, giving all of our gratitude for the support this past year. Shout out to Tamia Anderson and Tamia's Touch of Care. To get with life, get a massage. Toiletries for Families has been providing toiletries to dignify families affected by disaster and poverty for almost 13 years. With your support, we can serve more. We're currently seeking support for our back to school drive. So if you want to get tuned in and volunteer or make a donation, visit tffserves.org. The Arts Advocate advocates the culmination and cultivation of creativity, allowing individuals to heal through the arts. Even tonight, when I get off this show, I'm rushing to 2222 Emancipation for an amazing production called Puff Puff Poetry. Shout out to She's So Cold Entertainment. I'm looking forward to tonight's amazing lineup. And first and foremost, I just want to make sure everybody is in tune with the process of having this experience with me this evening and enjoying the rest of the experience you have in life. We're going to take 6 deep breaths as this allows us to center ourselves, realign, and just enjoy the process that we are trusting. 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. 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 This minute exercise helps lower blood pressure, ease anxiety, settle nerves, replenish comfort, get you through this. So if you have any need in a relationship, be it by yourself or getting through the transition of loss, grief, or faced with things that are battling your emotions to a capacity that you're having a difficult time, hit up Marius Tiffany. We have some really incredible, healthy options you can route with getting through your process with some trust and respect and getting you to a place to truly enjoy your experience. Now, y'all make sure you visit TD Smoke, thedailysmoke.com, $TDSMOKE. Send your dollars, send your bills, send all of your support. Share these videos, like this video. Please allow people to know that we are the People's Podcast. You can come here, sit on the sofa with us, and really have an amazing experience. We can talk about anything. Nothing is off limits as long as you can back it up. Hey, y'all. So I'm super excited about today, and I gotta tell you, like, I'm all comfy on this sofa thinking I'm about to be watching me real live, but I have to remember to take these in for 3, out for 7 deep breaths, like Marius Tiffany said, because there's a delay in the screen. But shout out to Brother Bobby because I'm having so much fun. This is my second time going live on, on my show because we've been coming on Saturdays for almost a year, and like there were so many issues that were taking place with my health and things that I wasn't able to carry out the consistency of the production. But thank y'all for holding it down for me and keeping me close. And thank you so much for the beverage. So today's Tuesday. It is May 30th, and it is actually the week of Puff Puff Poetry. So if you want to experience some mind-blowing, just intense, stimulating verbiage tonight, you should go to 2222 Emancipation Avenue. This is a Black-owned venue called Tribeca, run by the She's So Cold Entertainment Group, an amazing couple, Brother Malcolm and She's So Cold, and they are affiliates of some amazing organizations and organized couples that have come together to create a space for their love and their life to blend. And I'm just so excited for them. Shout out to We Go Live, Courtney Lynn and Scott Free. Shout out to Lero from Trust the Shooter. Like, there are so many creatives that I have worked with in any capacity in this city. And I mean, I can't wait till Thursdays to tell y'all about Long Live the Arts. Like, I think some taboo topics increase, like, when you consider what we don't talk about, the people we know. The relationships that we have built over time have completely been so confined to our fists. Like, we clench them in and hold them here, and we don't want anybody else to know. And that's just not how I operate. I think everybody should know how incredible people's service is because, for one, I know what I do to earn the money I make to spend it on things I believe are worth the investment. And so, of course, the influence of someone with a platform like this to tell you where to put your dollar, it makes sense to me. Like, it makes complete sense. And at the same time, if I'm supporting you in the capacity of spreading the word and using my platform, I feel like it's only right that you leave a review, that you let somebody know what the Mormon did for you, that you are allowing yourself to breathe more deeply and really enjoy your experience. And now you have a platform that you can tune into. I mean, like, the consistency of this production, the growth of the Daily Smoke, the family orient of this group of people, it is absolutely amazing. And I mean, a lot of productions don't continue because of the failure to uphold the respect, the dignity, the trust, the integrity of what it came in with. But these guys are so amazing, and I love making sure to acknowledge that on my shows, because I'm just like, I wouldn't be here had it not been for them deciding to expose themselves to the world, to really put us, like, our stories and our experiences on platforms. And a lot of times people are like, what do you talk about? What are you going to say? Prime example, I get on here and say whatever comes out my mouth. I trust that I hold myself in such a regard that I will not shame myself or offend anyone. But of course, I mean, we live. If I get on your nerves or hurt your feelings, you can always call in and let me know, or at least educate me on how to do it better. Hey, Brother Ron. But even with just holding on to the idea of what would happen if your mic was this big? What would you do if you had a mic this big and you could say whatever you want because your freedom had not been taken from you? Would you speak on the fact that, oh, I don't know, the other day I met some individuals from the Brown Berets who were protesting Florida produce because Florida has been real shitty to people they identify with and respect. And respectfully, that includes the LGBT community and even those who are too restricted of being able to embrace the freedom of America because someone said they couldn't be here. I understand that there are processes to follow. There are steps to be taken. But I also know that the way in which the media has been playing makes everybody look like they are villain, like they have no openness to receive or give love. And I'm just like, man, Pastor Juanita, may her words reach you. Be so open to receive and give love. Hell, add trust, respect, and forgiveness. Put yourself in a space where you are actually declaring your intentions and watch how you are able to witness it so quickly. To be decent to people, even the ones you don't see, because when you're in a room all by yourself, your character is most displayed. And even though you feel as though no one is bearing witness, you are watched. I mean, literally, it's like this residue that stays with you. Your body language is depicted in the same sense when you walk in rooms and you don't acknowledge the people in them. And then there's the perspective of anxiety driven, where you're allowing people to really be identified with in the aspect of knowing that they didn't even think that way. So I'm really supportive of those 4 agreements, because if you would embrace situations and experiences without personalizing them and assuming they had something to do with you, but that you were just having a lived experience, and in this moment that you're not used to, take it in. Take a deep breath in. Pay attention to how it feels expanding your body, because the expectation of breath is already a privilege. And for anybody who feels like they have been, completely marginalized or separated from privilege, you're more privileged than George Floyd, because you can breathe. When I saw his sister on social media the other day declaring her forgiveness to the person who suffocated her brother, I mean, there's so much there's so much healing in that, because otherwise she could have let that hatred stay in her heart. It does not dwell with love, hatred. And so while there are so many things that people face where, I mean, I'm not even trying to claim I can solve that, but I promise you, being open to receive and give forgiveness, there is a possibility that the degree of pain or infliction that you witness is just as great as that which you have caused. And to think that, things are karmic, it's not so much to have fear in your heart, but to be more mindful of what you do with your hands, with your tongue, with your thoughts. Sometimes people get judged because of how they process things. And, for some individuals, they don't even know that there are ways to naturally get through a moment of pain without drugs or alcohol. And I mean, I feel like alcohol abuse is when you drinking and emptying bottles without even tasting what was put into it. I feel like drug abuse is the same thing. Like you're literally using something just to get past the moment that you are not passing yet. Like you're stagnant in this. And when you degree yourself to the access of knowing that you are not getting past the moment, like you're living in something that is no longer living. I used to say, we argue points that we've already gotten past, and we let moments live that didn't even last that long. And that's what grief and trauma does. Grief and trauma can literally suffocate you. It can propel you to a place of darkness to make you feel like there's nothing worth doing anything for, like your passion is gone. But with healing, with the healing acknowledgement of the breath that flows through your body, with the acknowledgement of the life within you, there's this appreciation that comes. And when you can actually acknowledge the simplest of things that have been overlooked, then you lessen the idea that you are not big enough to be acknowledged, to be admired, to be respected. And in the same instant, every time you see your reflection, you ought to take note of it. Like a lot of people remember what they saw when they can no longer see. And I feel like that's that hindsight mentality. But when you see what is being presented to you, it is so confirming of the alignment of the work that you've been doing to get here. A lot of times people just tune out because they can't keep up, and that's okay. There's no frustration for those whose attention spans are not up to par. But in the essence of being able to really talk about the things that no one talks about, I can't wait. Like, I cannot wait until I can get some studs on the sofa to talk about their cycle, because I'm really concerned about this issue with fibroids. Like, so many people I know have been afflicted by them, and it's the most painful thing from which I've been told. I mean, they can barely move, but they do. They literally push through, and they get past these moments, adjusting their walk, adjusting their breath, adjusting everything that they do. They even decline going out and celebrating you because they might bleed through their clothes. It is debilitating. And to not have sensitivity about it, to not have some boundary of respect that no matter what's going on with the person, they should not have to feel like they are being ostracized for the things that they are experiencing. Like, everybody needs a safe space. I was talking to my bestie today. She's getting ready to do something so incredible for herself, and I'm so excited for her and her partner. But I'm like, it's just crazy how sometimes people will say things literally as they think aloud and speak that on them. Like, some individuals think they can only go to one place to feel safe. Some people think it's only in the grace or the embrace of their parent, and it's apparent because when their parent transitions, it's like they've lost every bit of the ability to feel enveloped by love. But in the opening of being open to receive and give love, like that maternal bond that you have with someone else's mother, or the woman who never bore children, and the instant of having brotherhood with your neighbors that you went to school with, or the connection you have with their children even though you don't have any. Like, there's so many ways that you can have family. And one thing I know that the LGBTQI plus community taught me at a very young age was that when you embrace people for who they are, they become family. And there are ways that you are able to surpass all of the expectations of not meeting the expectations of those who expected your life to be what they thought it would be, as opposed to embracing that you have the freedom to choose the way you go. And there are so many things going on in places out of reach that I can only imagine if my words would ever reach their ears, but it is something that I'm very much concerned about. There are people who want to be themselves, and the arguments of individuals who don't understand seem to keep going to, well, what happens if this and what happens if that? But do you not realize what's happening? All of these questions and this doubt, these rabbit holes that you keep jumping in, disconnecting yourself even further from connecting to people who don't live, love, or look like you, literally limits your ability to embrace individuals on a capacity that really would show how much love could do. We have very few differences when we consider the things that we are seeking, like some peace of mind, some respect, and relief. There are moments where, Black mothers hold their breath a different kind of way when their sons leave rooms. And there are these frivolous moments that some white women face when they don't really understand that their brown babies too face the same thing. but the discredit could possibly give this potentiality of never being able to connect with those in which they do, simply because they are not used as tools. Like tokenized moments where people are bruised because they don't realize what it means to truly be present in situations that they're not used to. You do not have to identify with people that are of other origins to respect the fact that they are experiencing things that are uncomfortable. And silence, maybe not to you. Maybe your silence is your process of allowing the creator to create a way for them to get through, or maybe it's the way in which you pray. But for some people, your silence is silencing their scream, because no matter how much they say it hurts to them, if you are not allowing that mic to be big enough to echo the sound, then it's like it gets drowned out with your inaction. And that's really sad, because I know both sides, and I know that some people really just don't know what to do. Well, for starters, I know that here in Houston, we have an incredible police officer, Sheldon Thorogood, who is celebrating his birthday in a very giving way. He has been working for 7 years for Houston Police Department as the homeless outreach team officer, and he has developed this rapport, this very sincere relationship with the homeless community over the course of this time. And for his birthday, he has sought the support of his previous classmates, teammates, and connections to provide for the individuals that he's been serving and celebrating with. And so I get to perform some poetry as the word magician on a stage with Two Crunk for Jesus and some other gospel-driven artists who are celebrating Sheldon, but also entertaining individuals otherwise who would not have access to art. And I'm more excited about it because I've been telling y'all, like, the Arts Advocate makes art accessible. We make sure you know where to go. Like tonight at 8 o'clock, 2222 Emancipation Avenue. Like, puff on something that smells good, that feels good, that tastes good. I mean, like the food. First of all, they got one of the hosts is this amazing. Oh my God, this woman is so dope. Her name is Free Kate, Free Knowledge. And she has placed top 10 in Women of the World Poetry Slam more than twice. And I mean, like, to know that her words are cooked in her mind like that, I promise y'all her mama's food tastes just as good. Her seafood pasta, it's such a big portion for like $15-$20, and it lasts me about 3 days to eat it. Like, it's delicious. Knowing where to go to enjoy your experience is really important. And when you have a place in Houston every day of the week to get on the mic freely and express yourself, like, it's therapeutic. I don't know about y'all's therapy sessions, but a lot of people I know are having a hard time even finding a therapist who will listen. And so get to a place where something like this can actually feel good, because you can definitely come on this mic, whether you're going to talk about your period or your relationship or the things that you face. If you want to talk about, the infringement of people's rights, like, drag life or trans lives or children who are becoming and being told they can't. There are so many discussions that can be had on this platform, because you're welcome to say what you feel, but at the same time be able to back it up. Lived experiences cannot be denied, but the ones who die before they tell their story risk someone else telling it for them in a depiction of a narrative that does not always find truth. And so it's so beautiful when you're able to, really get connected to the people's podcasts and like document what it is that you want to do. This manifestation of spoken word puts you in a position to truly see, like, how much am I going to grow? The next time I watch this video, will I have done what I said? Hold me accountable. And when viewers are tuned in and it's like, yo, I heard you say you were going to do that, and then I watched you do it, it's something to account for, because building trust and community is not easy. I've been doing PR and marketing for Pride Houston for a while now, and yesterday I went live, y'all. I was so nervous. That face. I was so nervous. I called one of my friends. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did this. I misspoke. I had, a day on my mind and a number on my mind. And so I said the wrong date for an event. I'm like, okay, let me just remind y'all. Carbach, Sunday, June 4th, 11 a.m. is the Pride Market. Y'all should go. It's going to be amazing. And being able to celebrate Pride in Houston, Texas is a privilege. It's a beautiful privilege. June is Pride Month, yeah. So we're going to be having a conversation. I'm not sure what date yet, but a nice panel discussion. We did one last year, but this year it will have grown with more conversations of topics that people don't necessarily hit, because a lot of times people think Pride relates to LGBT plus, relates to sex. And there are so many other topics to discuss, like our rights, our freedoms, our privileges, our desires, our wants, and what it is that we need from you to do that. And sometimes it's in the building of relationship that we can like really expound on the need for celebration, to be supported. But if you want to know, this is one year I can say, if I'm in the room, you deserve to be there. You definitely deserve to come. And I feel like this year's Pride is something that I can really stand on, because the theme is all we need is love. And, that's the religion I practice. So I feel like anybody who wants to stand in a space where you feel loved and accepted for who and how you are, and even in the welcoming of the fact that you might change your mind tomorrow, come here. Come here and be yourself. Come celebrate. Come experience that freedom. And at the same time, any day of the week, you can sign up to be on the Daily Smoke and have the same experience, because there is absolutely no judgment when people allow themselves to be themselves. Like, what do you have to say? And in the same instant, know the topics and the things. Like, it'd be great if you could really support this production, because we are only going to grow, and it's going to go as fast as it's supposed to. But with your support, it'll be overnight. Exactly. Because while it is accessible to you, while you have access to these amazing shows and conversations and witnessing people play these games, like the positivity that exudes the hands of these individuals, especially us, like y'all already know. So like the access that you have, trust me, you should be very appreciative, because otherwise you are exposed to the bullshit on TV. Like, the topics are just so empty. There's no stimulation, and I feel like stimuli is required. I have been called a sapiosexual, and I won't deny that. It's just I don't want it to be labeled as though I am being like I'm requiring something to get something. Like, no, 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 no. I'm just not going to stay for an empty conversation.
What is that?
I've
never heard of that.
Oh, let's use our devices. Go ahead, Google it.
What's that?
Sapiosexual, SAPIO. You've never heard of this?
If I'm asking a question,
You don't know?
all those out there that have never heard of that either. Like I said,
Most Googled word tonight, sapiosexual. Jam said order him 2 tickets of what? Oh.
Now I do got a quick question.
Yes.
Because the first is the start of that. What about this new law that Texas put in, that Texas children are not allowed to help trans children? That's something that's in the community. Like
It's you know what? In all honesty, Los, I think I'm about to cry because you really asked that question. Y'all, this is live.
No,
Like, they really give a shit.
I'm asking this because the other day I saw some about Texas new bills that said Texas children is not going to be allowed to help them at all. So I had to read more into it. I mean, what do you mean by helping them?
So they have been having programs for youth to give them hormone replacement therapy to help with the children who have been supported by their caregivers or parents, to transition and to block their hormones and the production. Now, there's a lot of stipulation of debate for that, because of the fact that it is a concern if you give a child hormone replacement therapy before puberty. While the idea is that you block the development of breasts for girls who don't feel that is who they are in real life, and the development of the Adam's apple dropping for boys who are to be women. The concern, well, that's the argument, but the concern that I hear about a lot is that it would limit them from ever having sexual pleasure. They wouldn't orgasm. Now, I don't know if that's based on science or based on fear, because a lot of people with that argument of question were the ones who were concerned about the hero bill and asking, well, what if a man dresses like a woman to go in the bathroom and rape a girl? And like that hypothetical, dark, creepy, you watch too much TV question. I mean, many minds went that way, and many minds went and voted. So it means a lot. For me, I just wanted to say thank you, because it means a lot for someone who is not in this community to involve themselves with the nature of the community, because it really does matter. I recently went to an event that, while the individual speaking said that they were openly supportive of this community, they didn't say it online anywhere. Like, I didn't see anything in print. It was just something spoken to a room full of people, no one out of it. And for me, that just doesn't mean shit. But I really appreciate that the Daily Smoke is not like remiss to the things that go on that have nothing to do with them. You know what I mean? A lot of individuals are very disappointed with the community, with the LGBTQI plus community, the leadership, the organizations, the businesses, because they're not saying anything. But in all honesty, like any other degree, if it's not directly happening to you, it does not hold as much weight. And that is not to say that's how I feel, but that's how you feel too, because when things were happening to us, it was never an issue. There are literally so many arguments of division for this community that gets clumped together, like, we are one alphabet or something. But in all honesty, there's so many degrees of separation, and I mean that in both. Yes, like, I mean, I literally heard this person of trans experience ask, well, how come they're not, using their platforms? Why are they being so silent? And so, to be direct, I sent them a text and I was like, okay, well, by silence, do you mean social media? What exactly do you find to be supportive? And I'm saying that because I don't want to tokenize you. You're not the only person of trans experience I know, but you're the one complaining as though we're not doing something great. Holding space, welcoming you to the mic, inviting you to speak up, acknowledging things when they're tough. Like, what do you want from us? And so I feel like the person gave me a very triggered and traumatized response, didn't even answer my question, went off about the embarrassment of, me not knowing by now. Well, first of all, we can only assume because you don't say nothing. You just keep talking a whole bunch of shit. And at the same time, like, I went live on another social media site the other day and I was just like, I don't want to talk to people who don't live, love, or look like me either, because sometimes you really just want to know, how can I be of service to you? Like real customer service. How can I make you feel welcome and respected? And then when you get that kind of off-putting response, it's like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay away from y'all. And so again, Los, thank you. You, Lon, Bobby, like, y'all have been so inclusive. Like, y'all have been so inclusive. Your hugs ain't loose. You don't talk crazy. You don't make these sidebar jokes. Like, you were sincerely dope as fuck. Like, I really appreciate y'all.
In the business that I'm in, I'm actually 10% minority for being straight. Because most of the people that work in my community, so I've been around, people, LGBT people for many years. And for me, it's like, I don't care what you do, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know that I'm not.
Bro,
So
have you ever been to Pride?
No, I've never gone or nothing like that.
I really think you should come. Let me tell you. So I just picked up my dress from Noah John Perkins. I'm so in love with this dress. I had bought the dress for like $13, probably 4 years ago. But it's so pretty and it goes down to the floor. Even on my 6'1" ass, I was excited. But I didn't like all of the dress. And so we were talking one day. He's the one who made Danessa's birthday dress. The purple. Yes. He made it in like 3 days. And so he fixed it and put like this little corset on the back. It's so pretty. It has like a little satin like bow. It's so pretty. But he's going to New York Fashion Week in September. I married him and his husband. He's an amazing artist. And what I'm getting at is, like, there are so many creatives that we have in this city of our community. And so I think for Pride this year, we need to talk about that, right? Like, Pride is 4 events that we do. This Sunday is the Pride Market. There's going to be some vendors selling whatever products they have for sale. I don't even know who they are. Like, I'm excited to find out. But you go to Carbach, have some beers, have a good time or whatever, and patronize the vendors, get some free goodies, little koozies with the Pride logo. It says all we need is love. It's inclusive. Like, it has a brown line, it has a black line. It's just for you too. It's including us as well. But on the 22nd is the Rock the Runway Welcome to Wakanda fashion show. Now, let me tell you, I saw the footage of the individuals who came to audition to walk in this runway fashion show. And they're going to be dressed to the nines. And it's going to be amazing. There's also another fashion show in October on I think the 10th, with Queer Couture. And that is a lesbian-driven fashion show. But they have people of trans experience and non-binary and artists. Like, fashion shows in the gay community is absolutely amazing. It's like going to a drag show. If you want to have a good time, you have to go experience drag shows. Like, shout out to Muffy and Marsha Mello and Tommy Ross, like all of the entertainers that we have, Crystal Smith, I miss Atlantis. We have so many incredible people who, first of all, can walk their ass out in heels. I mean, like, bad. They dress like they're just the most beautiful attire.
Like
a real show.
And they're showing off the
the pieces that they make, yes. And like Noah John is a tailor. Like he actually hand sews everything he puts together. And so just seeing him come to life with his art, it's just been a beautiful thing to witness. He even makes classic shades. He puts jewels and stones on them. They're so cute. But amazing people in this community. We even have a couple, Kim and Paula Lawson. They have a foundation where they help LGBTQIA plus couples expand their families with reproduction support. And they have seminars for couples, so you have, an understanding of the things and nuances that you face as a couple to get through, because of course it's only been so many years that we've been able to marry legally, but not really a lot of support. And so just the way that we're able to transition at the same time, like there's so much to do, so much growth required. A lot of the culture, I feel, of being able to identify and articulate when you're triggered, when you're traumatized, when you feel some kind of way, I respect it. I just look forward to you moving past that and getting to the place where you acknowledge you deserve to heal and to be. Right. I do. I married my first. No, I so Mary is Tiffany.
Married, wherever you are,
If you want to, you got to go through some training. Like I require an assessment and premarital counseling, which I'm certified with. But yeah, if you want to get married, I want you to be married, and that's the A and the E. Right? Like you want to enjoy your experience, have great communication, incredible sex. Like I want you to, because that means that your wellness wheel is in motion. That means that you are attributing to someone else's wellness and growth, and that helps. So yeah, it don't matter if you're gay, straight, or non-binary. If you change how it goes, like yes, I will marry you.
Have there been any that went through the courses and you were like, I don't need to marry?
No.
Never had none of those?
No, all of my couples have been by word of mouth, and of my 30 weddings, 2 divorces. The 2 divorces did not go through my classes because the option, no. So the option is that you take the premarital classes before the wedding or within your first year. And that is just because it's almost like getting baptized. You think, oh, I'm married now, I ain't gonna have no problems. But in all honesty, like you've now got a target on your back. Like there is always going to be a risk, an opportunity. It's just how much do you have faith in the things that you don't see, and don't be misconstruing that for a religious thing, because faith is not a religious term. It's just applicable there. But if you can believe in something you cannot see and intend to see that out and bring that to fruition, then that's just you being focused. A lot of times we don't necessarily realize like being married is not something you just walk into. But at the same time, maintaining that married sense of mind requires intention. And if you're not doing something for yourself, if you're not putting yourself first, if you're not organizing your priorities effectively, things will show. Like it's very evident. And even more so, I feel when you get to a place where you realize that breath is not promised and life is not necessarily going to be very long or much longer, it makes you consider the things that you choose to do. Like it's one thing if you choose to partake in activities that make you feel good for the moment. And if you choose to let that be the reason why you do things and not concern yourself with how it will make people feel when you no longer can, that's your business. But we have so many opportunities to really hone in on the ways in which we use these platforms. Everybody's welcome to sit on this couch, no matter what day of the week. And you have the opportunity to feel respected, to feel loved, to feel open to, say whatever it is that you want, but understand that there is an expectation that when you get on this mic, you speak with conviction, you speak with intention, and you speak with the audacity of maintaining integrity, because, we gonna let this play, right? Yeah, like be yourself. It's necessary to be authentic. Exactly. Exactly. And sadly, that does happen. People, they get caught up in the limelight, and some people expect the light to be so bright, not realizing they are. And in those moments, it's like, you watch people become themselves. Like there's so much growth that's taking place on this show. And for anybody just tuning in, make sure y'all go back to the beginning and watch the very first show and this blank wall. And now we got the city behind us because, what's up, city of Houston? We over here trying to feed your city something incredible, something palatable, something that they can digest, because y'all been feeding them bullshit. I know on some of my clients' pages that I run on social media, I have to follow who I follow, but I'm sick and tired of seeing what they post. Like you literally have to prepare yourself for social media scrolls. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. because otherwise you will absorb what you observe. And I got that line from my friend IL, whose Amy told her, you don't always have to absorb what you observe, right? Like, or don't absorb, observe. And in the same context, like, be mindful of what you take in, and be very mindful of when you take an exhale of relief, because if it's in their company or when they leave, that makes a big ass difference. And in the same instance, like, our safety is so important. There have been some snatchings, some reports of snatchings of babies, of kids. And for me, my first thought was, okay, is this woman running from an abusive spouse or husband or partner, and the partner is trying to discredit her, and so they're claiming that she stole these kids, but she's really fleeing? Like, I don't know the story, I don't know the truth, but I do know that it's kind of strange that we've become desensitized as a people to mute our phones when those alarms go off. Like, technically, the alarm goes off even if your phone is on silent. So obviously, we're supposed to take note of what we're being told. I just wish I could put a message out like that. Like, if I could say, what is it? If I had 3 minutes where the whole world would listen, I would teach them about my religion, how with it all things are possible. I would snicker at the clever use of a synonym to avoid a colossal insult. All you need is faith, the size of a mustard seed. No amount of doubt would intervene, but I worry misconceptions have been deceived by more or less tales, the points you would fail to prevail, limitations set by doubt, sustained by fear, false evidence appearing real. Like, there are so many instances where we don't realize the art of production requires movement sometimes, and my eyes will always roll all the ways in which we're going, because I want to pay attention. I'm not that nosy, I'm just attentive. But now that the sun is dimmed, I get this nice lighting on me because Bobby wants this production to look perfect. And I'm like, I was kind of feeling the tan appeal because I ain't been outside in years, y'all. But I'm going to the pool tomorrow with my mama. And I'm just like, a couple shows ago, I didn't get the production to set because the mics messed up. And so y'all didn't really get to hear the conversation. But you remember when I was talking about the situation I was in? Mm-hmm. I got fired the following Monday.
Right. That's what you were talking
And it was like that instant, I just felt this weight off my shoulders. And when I tell y'all, like, for me, I am a Christian, and I believe that my gifts make room for me. And my gifts have made plenty room for me these last couple of months. And I'm so appreciative. Like, Toiletries for Families is going to Florida. Yeah. We're going to St. Pete, Florida to do a basketball camp and have a hygiene workshop with some kids to help them understand the importance of their self-care, the quality of their confidence. And I'm so excited. Like, I mean, the trip is covered by the Inside and Out Project. I'm so grateful to be a part of this amazing opportunity. And the Arts Advocate is going to Phoenix to do a pros and cons workshop with kids in a detention center. And I've been talking about that, pros and cons, PROSE, because there are so many ways to use art to deflect from the cons of life and really enjoy the creation of being able to, have this experience and speak about it. There are things that take place in detention centers and jails that we don't know because we haven't been. The fact that people with the uterus in jail are given 2 pads a day on their cycle, regardless of if they have dysmenorrhea or PCOS or endometriosis or fibroids and bleed through them. Like, I saw this episode where one of my friends, Tangi, she has an organization from Felon to Phenomenal, and sapiosexual Miss Easter is someone who is completely aroused by the conversation of one's thoughts, their knowledge. It means that you are driven by knowledge, not by sex, not by someone's gender, but more so their intellect. And pansexual is very similar, but it's just by way of, I'm not able to say more than what I saw online because it's a new term over the last 10 to 12 years. It hasn't really got out much, but it has something to do with the mind. If you would share what you found, and I can even expound on that in a second, because I do want you all to learn these words. It's so important. Yeah, you can always call, love. What's the number? What is the number? 281 968 1029. Y'all better tune in. Call in, say something. I started drinking recently, y'all. Not really. Not enough. Not to know anything. When I turned 21, no, I'm lying. 3 months before I turned 21, my friend Krista and I would go to AA meetings. I wanted to hear the stories of people who did too much. And before I turned 21, on my 21st birthday, my coach took me to Papado. I had 3 swamp things, then drove home. I'll never want to have that experience again. And I mean, like, it was a frozen slushy. But like, I've never like gone bought a bottle and emptied it. Like, I've never drank like that. And even right now, I can't drink a bottle of wine by myself. Like, I mean, I don't drink. I like slushies and poetry. I love to be on the mic, like my healing. And so when
You get a hurricane.
who?
It's a slushy. It's a rum. It's a
Oh,
it's a slushy.
that sounds good. Okay, I might need to go to New Orleans.
They're so good. You don't need to go to New Orleans. You can get them here.
For real? Oh, I might need to go to T's Daiquiri. Have y'all been to T's Daiquiri, 1975 Texas Parkway? Black woman owns it. She's amazing. Her name is Tiffany Small. I bet she does. I used to do poetry at her spot. It was called Lyrics Corner. And this poet who was also a veteran, Kelly LeBlanc, she hosted this show. It was fun. Mic'd Up Mondays. We had fun. It's so much art in the city, y'all. Like, it's kind of hard not to like blur Long Live the Arts into Tuesdays. Even if I like stop coming on Thursdays and just talk to y'all on Tuesdays, which I'm totally down for too, because there's too much art in the city not to appreciate it. Like, we have the first Black woman to be a Houston's Poet Laureate is also like the first Black woman to compose a production at the ballet. She's uh-huh. So the Poet Laureate is like the representative of the city. They have one of the state of America. It's a very prestigious honor, and it means that you are published, that you have like done all of the organized and structured parts of writing or composition, and you can be representative of this city or this degree. But yeah, huh? I hadn't at the time that I was nominated. No, I wasn't published. I was nominated in 2018, and I was not selected. I published 3 books after that, but I self-published, and that didn't count. And so when I was nominated again, yeah, I was nominated in 2018 and 2021. Actually, PK, remember PK that came up here with the walking stick? She wrote me a letter of recommendation, as did many of my friends. Man, Pastor Rudy and Juanita Rasmus wrote me a recommendation. I didn't know they thought that much of my words. Like, I had no idea. I was like, you'd
be surprised.
People don't say nothing. They just be like,
I told you about the one that delivered something to me. When I mentioned your name, she knew who you were.
Yeah, but we don't know who she was. Who's the Uber delivery lady that didn't know?
I don't know if she ever walked with us. If she does, she's quiet about it.
But that's just, I mean, that's how it is. People, like, I don't know if it's like an intimidation thing or not they're intimidated of us, but like they're intimidated by their own thoughts if they don't say anything. Like, I want to know. I want to know how you feel. I care. I want to know what matters to you. Like, let me tell you, I literally went to go get these waist beads from Monquise. She makes them. They're actually like stones, not beads. It's really pretty. It makes me keep my posture right because I'm, working on my physique. But when I pulled up to the venue to meet her, I saw the Brown Berets, and they were holding these posters saying, protesting Florida produce. And of course, I knew there's 2 reasons why they could possibly be doing this. So I inquired reluctantly to say anything that might make them sway their conversation or their energy, because you don't know who you're talking to at all the time, right? Like, I have to feel safe too. Yeah. And so one of the guys, he identified that, that they represent the Chicanos, but they also represent anybody who is being harassed or discriminated against, especially the LGBT community. And I'm just like, yo, that's really deep. How beautiful is that? And then they permitted me to go live on Facebook, so I did it from the Pride page. And this other guy, I think his name is Caleb, he was saying that, he was so proud to stand with them because as a member of the LGBT community, he knows that it's like, the rights of friends and their kids being infringed upon in Florida is, it's detrimental too. But it's also showing how we can have brotherhood and, build a familial bond with our strangers that are now our neighbors and be more inclusive of them. Like, there's so many quieted conversations. I've been invited into rooms and at tables where people talk about things that very well could have been even better right here on this mic. But it's like, people don't know where they're safe to have the conversation. Back in the day, Mama Neff taught us that, poetry shows were at speakeasies and people would, snap because they didn't want to be heard, because they couldn't know that they were reading. They couldn't let them know that they were intellectual. They couldn't let anybody know they knew what they were doing. And so, like, knowing that we have so much privilege as people, like with a tongue, like we're able to speak, and those who can't speak can write. Like, we have voices and tools. Like, we need to be on every medium. You know what I mean? And like the division, I feel like we're in black and white every day because I am. And I feel like my views are. And I feel like there's so many things that blur because of perception. Like, if all of y'all could just get in alignment with Miguel Ruiz and just stop assuming shit, don't personalize what isn't done. Do your best. Be impeccable with your word. Integrity is everything. But like, we could get along so much better, respectfully. Just accepting the things we can't change. I have no idea what it was like for you when you were me at this stage, right? And I have no idea what it's like for you getting to the stage you're at. Like, I remember conversations with you in the room off the camera, like the things of, adjusting to how your body is moving and how your mind is working, and the things that are going on with you, like the things that are going on with your mother, the things going on with my own. There's just I love you too. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That's sweet. I actually have to breathe that in. Like, I really don't want to miss the compliment. I feel like anytime someone compliments you in such a way, you need to take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. I told God I didn't want to die with my gifts, y'all. And then I met the Daily Smoke, and I really feel like being able to do what I'm supposed to is just, it's thank you for the opportunity. Like, I feel honored to be able to be here.
The day we saw you on the Vanessa stage, and the way you took that stage, I was like, if she likes our show, you might be on here. And then next thing I know, here you are.
When Bobby speaks, y'all, I be so excited. What else you got to say? Wanna come sit?
I'm gonna talk loud and
Okay.
you can hear.
Okay.
Love you. Love you.
I love you too, Bobby.
Like the day when you had Jam and this brother over here in tears, the way you were speaking and all, and then the room, I was like, okay, this is impressive. And then we handed out the cards and all that, and you were like, I want to come on the show, and here you are.
A year later.
Your own show.
I got two of them, y'all. Long Live the Arts and Taboo Tuesdays. But like, every show is great. I've even I've been on a couple shows. I was on LaDonna's first show. Y'all gotta go back and watch that. Her Handy. I was on Danessa's mental awareness show and the Coogee Chugalia show, and just like, we gotta do more about acknowledging things, because like, one day I won't breathe. You know what I mean? Like, one day I will not breathe. And I hope that my memory is to do so. I hope y'all remember 3 and 7. I hope that you remember how good it feels to come, because you deserve to come. And I just feel like if y'all could like get to that declaration, right? Make it to that declaration where I deserve to be in any room I go, because my presence is a gift. And in that instant, you acknowledge that no matter what anyone else's intent, you intend to have an experience that's absolutely beautiful.
We gotta get those t-shirts. Heat on. Get your skeet on.
Oh my God, we can promote them online like a real with get your skeet on.
Be on the lookout for that t-shirt.
Oh, merch is coming, y'all.
TDS.
New show coming up. When Bobby speaks, I'm down for it.
Now you know.
Now you know. We had something that was gonna be called Now You Know.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be
I
more
love
like
nature.
it was gonna be more
animals
like
and stuff.
and shit. And then he would give the answer.
I mean, how do they
It's
release?
supposed to be funny, just at the
Stupid.
I never knew that shit. I'm like, that's why I'm asking.
That's hilarious. So Bobby, but wait, go back. So like, because the first time I met you, you're like a modernized Rafiki to me. Like, you would be a Baba to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Most Babas don't speak much, but when they speak, it is so prophetic, and it's just I think so for me, because I don't read, because I don't go digging and looking at histories of things, but like coming to see myself. The other day, not random at all. I decided, because I had been waiting on the board to tell me it was okay to go. And that particular day, I was like, it's time. We need this merch. And so I went to my t-shirt shop, James on Harwin, 8080 Harwin. He's amazing. Houston t-shirt printer, 24 hours if you're real good, but up to 5 days if you want the quality. But I'm sitting there waiting because it's always going to be a wait. He don't do nothing online. Like, he's very now in my face, right? But what was beautiful about that process of his business is he keeps a great relationship. Like, I've been going there for a very long time. But either way, I'm sitting there, and this man in the room, he's getting these customized outfits made, like little hoochie daddy shorts and like shirts that match. But he had this really fly one that was like gunmetal, and it reminded me of a journal, like a nice fabric journal I would love to write on. And so I said something because it looked like an hourglass on the thing, and it was his own design, and I forget what it means, but it was like this slogan for his business. I wanted him to hit me up. But basically, when he asked me my name and I told him Tiffany Scales, he's like, Scales. He said, like, Third Ward Scales? I said, well, I'm from Alabama, but I think we related, maybe. I haven't done the little gene thing. I don't know if them people have either, but I have been completely correlated to all the scales in Houston because they're all of service. Like Zolly Scales, my great-grandfather's name was Willie. And, I mean, thinking about the old times, most people's cousins' names did rhyme. And so, it's very likely, but they're all light-skinned with big foreheads, too. So, there's that. But to know that I have literally gone from Alabama, where my parents were stationed, to now being planted somewhere I feel at home and being in service for nearly 30 years here. Yeah, wow, like 27. Just being able to say that, like, I know it's incredible, but I have never reflected on how big I am. I'm too busy being impressed by how big people I see are, right? And so, like, with the aspect of how I find you to be like Baba to like the communities of Ifa who, relinquish their wrongdoings and their fears to this person like their preacher. Where do you speak? Like, I want to go where you on the mic.
Yeah, I've actually heard people say that because I used to way back in the day, at church or whatever. And when I feel comfortable around people, I speak. And they were like, "You need to be a preacher." I don't know about all that. When I feel something in my heart,
I say something. Yeah.
So, but other than that, I actually like to really just feel the room. It's like I need to know who I'm talking to before I speak. I need to see you before you see me. That's me.
Did y'all hear that?
It took me a minute. It actually took me a minute to get used to Lowe's because I was all Lowe's. Can I use it? All that. But once I learned Lowe's and Lowe's learned me. Oh, shit! Like, you're my brother. All right.
Yes. But wait, did y'all hear Bobby? Bobby said, "I need to see you before you see me." Now, going back to the message of you deserve to come. That's why I say don't have sex if you ain't old enough. Because I need to see you before you see me can be taken in such a degree that you realize before you get naked, you must be able to be transparent, completely open, to expose yourself. And in the same degree of not being sexual, but more so trusting and building trust with strangers. Why would you not authentically be open? That whole, the herd of y'all who read the word to tell you not to tell them how much you knew and never disclose your intellect, like, that is so stupid. Because some of y'all really acting stupid, and I feel like that's the most dumb thing to do. Like, why would you ask questions when you already knew the answer? Make statements. Declare your intention. Like, there's no point in wasting time in rabbit holes. We're not training for the military, but thank you, service members. And though it was yesterday, thank you, those whose lives were lost. Like, I don't know if you have any friends that were lost to war and combat.
Not that I could know. I'm sure there is. I wouldn't know.
But I mean, just the service and even your commitment to us. Like, I appreciate you very much. And shout out to my parents, because my daddy, my mama, and my stepdad all served and with grace and honor. There are some people who don't agree with what people choose to do in their life, but what I tell you is this: if you do what you do with the intent to do well, you will. This has been a fun time tonight. I have had so much fun connecting with you. I can keep going because I was gonna rush off. Drinking. I've been drinking. Say Bobby, your Beyonce. Oh, what's your? I've been drinking. Beyonce voice. What you got? Ron is clowning you tonight.
I've been drinking. That's my Beyonce boy. Yeah, I'm trying to get my Barry, my Barry.
Your Barry White. Your Barry White.
Should trans Beyonce voice.
Oh my gosh.
Unlike Ron, I'm doing the opposite.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see you. I see you.
My body.
Have y'all done anything for yourselves in the past week for your own self care?
Yeah,
What'd you do?
actually take care of a home that I thought I couldn't take care of.
Okay.
Meaning, because I'm in a better place knowing that my mom is in a better place. So that's a lot of weight
Off your
my
back.
shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. And with that, it really motivated. It's like,
Mm.
okay, decisions. I make the right decision, even though I make wrong decisions. But
You make the best decision.
And that don't mean she's gone. She's just in a different home. When you say
Yeah.
a better place, most people might think, oh man, his mama must have died.
no.
No, she's in a. His mother is in a place where her needs are met in a way that do not take away from his being met.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes that decision is hard because people think you don't put me away. No. That was a good decision because otherwise you will lose yourself. It's almost like when turbulence hits, if you put the mask on your mama or your kid, you suffocate. Right? Like, so yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we do things out of haste, but doing something knowing that you can trust the process and believing that she will be well.
When I did that, I thought I was making a bad decision.
Yeah.
But it was only me and her. So it's like, I don't see what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And it took another family member to see what I was going through. And I made my decision. And then my brother and others, like, I'm proud of you. You did the right thing.
Yeah.
So that made, because I thought I was like, oh, did I do the wrong thing?
No.
So
No.
A
No.
war on you real bad.
I'm very proud of you. That means that you did. You stood by something and I hope that you enjoy breathing. Relief. What you do for yourself the last week? Yes.
Other than extra partake of the herb, which is healthy for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I chilled this week. I
You
got
did?
Grill, I relaxed one day, didn't do shit, did what I wanted to do. What we did this week. Oh, and cleaned up the wolf den.
Yeah, it looks good.
Right? We got 2 years worth of dust about this bitch.
It feels good.
But it was good, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard not to because it's like you wipe that down, 10 minutes later, the breeze comes in and it's like you're in shit.
I believe it.
We
Ooh.
took them all apart and everything.
Hold on. Before we go. So for me, I got 2 pair of custom Chucks, right? Some Converse. Because I like to converse in them. I'm so pissed. My shoes came with no paper wrapping inside brown boxes. Now, Converse come in black boxes that say Converse on 3 sides. And I wrapped the shoe back up and I put it on a shelf in my closet. I'm so mad. I spent so much money getting these custom pairs of shoes and I have nothing to put them in. So I called customer service today and the lady said, oh, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. I said, okay, no problem. Can I talk to a supervisor? And that lady said the same thing. I'm just so disappointed. I wrote them on Facebook. I'm going to write them later. And I told them I was going to talk about them tonight. They don't come in boxes. Like, well, custom shoes don't come in boxes. That's stupid. Send me a fucking box. I done spent all this money on these cute ass shoes. Okay, so look. One pair is... We're going to get a bear so you can talk into to live forever. But one pair of shoes is black on the outside, white on the inside with black eyelets and white trim. And then the other pair is all black with white trim. So it just looks nice and clean and has no laces. You just slip them on. They are so comfy. And they have no home to go in. They have no box. I'm so pissed.
You have to use one of the other ones.
I will not. No, because those boxes say what color the shoe is. That's not legit. And
Make your own box.
I need to make my own shoes. I have big feet. I wear a 12 in Converse girls and I wear a 13 in women's shoes, like regular shoes. And it's so hard to find shoes that are comfy, y'all. So, you know, if anybody wants to sponsor my show, I love to rock your shit. I'm 6'1" and I like sundresses. So if I can get something to go down past my ankles, I'd be really happy. Yeah, $ TD Smoke, hashtag Tips Clothes. Like, hook me up. I like to be a billboard. And I'm going to be all over the city rocking the Daily Smoke and whatever it is y'all want to support. So make sure you get your cash into our Cash App so we can get these shirts with you on our backs and know that you are supporting an amazing, amazing production with the cast of incredible crew. I've had fun tonight, y'all. Happy Taboo Tuesdays. I'll be back next week. I gotta finagle my way of getting these guys to like me to come go live because I prefer this. I don't want to talk to myself. I went live on Pride Houston yesterday and I was so nervous. Like, Bobby, you gotta watch the video. I'm gonna send you a link. I looked nervous. I tried to get my lighting right. I had on green so my eyes would pop. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, y'all. Here we go.
When we download you, you'll be able to do all that. It'll come out like this.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Oh, before you go, I'm gonna teach you how to.
No,
Yeah.
What you gotta do is just download the whole picture.
I don't know why. You know what? I didn't bring the computer because I was rushing. My bestie my bestie called me, so I left, and I'm like, get the computer. But I had already got to the car, and I didn't want to walk all the way back to go get the computer. I'm like, I'll be right back. I didn't come right back. I came straight here, so I don't have it. But as soon as I get it, I promise, because I really want to know how to do this. Because ooh, ooh, ooh.
Before you leave, we're gonna do it here. You're gonna do a test run from here.
Okay.
That way, when you do get there, when you do get your laptop, okay, I saw what Bobby did. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna record it. Okay.
All we gotta do is at least just put
Because I've already downloaded and everything. Yeah, I just need the file and the pictures.
pictures in place. You build your profile, so that's what you use to go live.
Okay.
We're gonna do a test run before you leave.
I'm excited. Bye, y'all.
Peace.